On this episode of Inside Iowa, we'll meet an Iowa alum and his Congolese restaurant, meet the artist behind the Ridge Furrow art display, learn about the Benchmarks project in downtown Iowa City, and explore a ministry open to college students in the community. Hi, I'm Haley McMiniman, and welcome to another exciting episode of Inside Iowa, your inside look on what's happening in and around campus. Up first, we'll meet Peter Nkumu, an Iowa alum who opened Alikia restaurant in Coralville, Iowa in 2008, which serves traditional Congolese cuisine. Peter has faced many hardships along the way, but he continues to keep his passion alive.
Iowa alum Peter Nkumu opened Alikia restaurant 4 years ago. He serves traditional food from Congo, Africa, along with some other local cuisine.
It's an authentic restaurant, African restaurant, specialized in Congolese cuisine. The type of food that we serve here at Alikia is very well known throughout Africa.
After graduating with a degree in economics, Peter began working at a credit union. But he couldn't shake the feeling to have a traditional, local restaurant from his homeland, and he wanted to have it in his hometown.
The Iowa City community is a diverse community. We wanted to kind of be part of that. I think this was the one missing piece in that big puzzle. You can find the Chinese, you can find the Mexican, all kind of authentic communities, food or restaurant. But one thing you couldn't find here was African. That was the missing piece in diverse communities that we live in.
And the community responded. Patrons like Victoria come in frequently to eat, talk, and have a good time. She is from Nigeria, which shares a similar fare.
I think it's really important to have an African restaurant for other people to see what African food is like, and for Africans here also to eat, because sometimes we want the African food, not the burger.
A taste of African culture and cuisine right here in Coralville. But you may be wondering, what is Congolese food and how does it taste?
It was really good. As you can see, I finished my food. And it didn't take me that long to finish it. Yeah, and it's made from scratch, so it tastes really good.
We use the same ingredients, same things that people use at any restaurant. We use meat, fish, chicken, but it's just cooked differently. By that I mean the type of sauce we use, the type of ingredient we use to mix them around in order to make sauce, it's a little different than what you would find in any other places. So that's kind of what makes it different. In most of our dish, we eat it with fufu or banana plantain or rice.
And Alikia almost was the restaurant that wasn't. Shortly after Peter and his brother bought the restaurant in 2008, the flood hit. It damaged the campus, the city, and the restaurant.
6 months into the ownership of the business, we got flooded. Flood of 2008, so it wiped us out, and we lost everything.
His restaurant was gone. He didn't have insurance. If he wanted to keep his dream alive, he was going to have to work for it. But he never gave up.
The name of the restaurant is Alikia. It means in Lingala, which is one of the languages spoken in Congo, it means hope. So we're going through the flood of 2008, so we had to have hope. It took approximately 2 years before we came back to life again. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
And he persevered. He moved, remodeled, and reopened his doors, much to the delight of the community and his customers. Alikia quickly became a focal point, hosting parties and even catering events for student groups. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work, and Peter is willing to put in the time.
I work full time, and as soon as I'm done with work, I come straight here and spend another 5 hours. And I have a family. I have 2 children, and both of them are very young. So you can see it's not easy. If it's something you love and you like to do, it can be done.
But now, Alikia faces another challenge. The building Peter moved into after the flood is going to be torn down. Alikia had to, once again, shut its doors. He's currently looking for a new location. He's not sure what to do or where to go, but he's not giving up hope.
I'm doing this for love, and I just love meeting people that come here and seeing people having a good time, it really motivates me to keep going.
British sculptor and visual artist Peter Randall-Page describes his work Ridge Furrow, which was installed at the Auntie Cleary Walkway on the University of Iowa campus for Iowa's Art and State Buildings program.
My name is Peter Randall-Page. I'm a sculptor and I'm based in the southwest of England in the county of Devon, and I'm over here to install a sculpture for the University of Iowa. The piece that I've made for the university is in a way the latest in a series of works that I've made based on combining a random element with a very structured element. In this case, the random element is the actual naturally eroded boulder itself. The boulder comes from Cornwall in the southwest of England. It's a naturally eroded stone, and I, broadly speaking, accepted that as a given, the natural shape of the stone. Then I've set myself some very simple rules to work with, and the rules in this case are that there's a raised ridge over the entire surface, covers the entire surface of the stone underneath as well, and that is one continuous line. So if you were able to pick the sculpture up and follow that line around, you get back to the beginning. It's one continuous line, and the grooves can end and they can meet in threes, and if you use that system you can go on without repeating yourself indefinitely. Additionally, the piece has a kind of axis of symmetry through it, and although the stone, being a natural eroded random shape, doesn't have perfect symmetry, I've created a kind of axis of symmetry so the pattern is mirror imaged on each side, but obviously has to adapt and distort to the vagaries of the random shape of the stone itself. The beginning of this process, I suppose, is actually choosing my stone, and then really it's a matter of me familiarizing myself with this shape that I found, turning it over, drawing on it, seeing where there's a natural sort of axis of symmetry through it, and then starting off with charcoal, drawing my lines onto the surface, and then as I'm sure about what I want, painting them on, and then starting to carve into the stone itself. My hope is that people will just find the combination of the naturalness of the stone and the complexity of the pattern and the playfulness of the design that I've done. I hope they'll be able to appreciate that on a really straightforward gut level. One of the most important things was keeping both with the physical environment here and also a little bit in terms of the kind of imagery and the background to the work in relation to the different schools of study that are going on here at the university. I've always felt that it's incredibly important to have the right object in the right place. You can have a wonderful sculpture in the wrong place and it doesn't work. You can have a wonderful place with the wrong sculpture and it doesn't work. But if you get it right, the whole can be more than the sum of the parts.
The University of Iowa campus is located in the heart of downtown Iowa City. Local artists, students, and residents can paint the park benches after approval from a committee. The painted benches add a splash of color and art to the city.
My name is Ryan Benzinger, and I am one of the lead artists of the UICCU Benchmarks project, and I'm here today with my student Mira. UICCU put in, as of now, a chunk of money towards Blick, and they are currently giving us a 30% discount. So with that money, we get more supplies than you could normally buy just going in out of pocket. Not necessarily donated, but Blick's helping out as much as they can. They're doing a really great job. So as lead artist, my job is to get bombarded with questions and emails, and when I'm not volunteering my time here, I'm teaching at Willow End Elementary, and Mira is one of my 5th grade students, and she came up to me one day after class and asked who she talked to do a bench because she knows I'm involved in the art scene down here, and I said, "You talk to me." I'm very proud of her. It was a big step for her to do this, and so we went through the process, and now we're here.
I saw someone painting a bench down there, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. I would like to do that. And so I made a design, and I went and, I didn't know anything about it because it said to submit to a Facebook group. So I didn't really know what to do about it. So I went and asked Mr. Ryan if he knew anything about it, and he said that he was actually collecting them. And so I just submitted my design to him, and he took it to them, and they liked it. So I just decided to paint it.
Happy medium's kind of my think globally, act locally, just one of my beliefs, finding the happy medium in the world. But other than that, I try to step out of it. I don't want it to be, Ryan and his friends painting crew. It's Iowa City, so I try to get everyone involved. My hopes, why I'm sticking with it, donating my time, is to see where it evolves. I hope we get some walls soon. I don't think everything should be covered in paint, but I think a lot more could be. And being such a small, intimate town, city, that term gets flip-flopped back and forth. I think it really is a good place for it to thrive and start.
24/7 is a Christian organization for students that offer group meetings, campus groups, and events to connect with others with similar beliefs.
Which are basically like
So there's two big ways that 24/7 fleshes itself out on campus. One is the Wednesday night event, where we meet at 8 p.m. at the Sheraton, and we gather as a whole group to worship God through song, hearing from Him, through the preaching of the Bible. It encourages us, it brings us together, gives us something to celebrate. And then we see that fleshed out in our lives, actually in these groups called campus groups. Campus groups meet a lot of different nights of the week and gather with other people in order to help that truth impact us at a heart level and see it applied to our lives. A few ways I've seen 24/7 really benefit this university and benefit this city. One is by the way it brings about life and community in students' lives. There is great benefit in having a group there on campus that finds their joy, finds their satisfaction, finds their security in Jesus and Him alone.
That wraps up this week's episode of Inside Iowa, bringing you all you need to know about the campus, students, and alumni. Join us again for another episode over all things Iowa. For Inside Iowa, I'm Haley McMiniman. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with some sights and sounds from this year's dance marathon, which raised over $1.5 million for the Children's Hospital.
Every dream that reaches out.